Chapter 3 is all about lines and graphing lines, okay? It is a huge, huge thing in algebra, okay? Knowing how to graph a line from, today we're going to do from a table. Tomorrow we're going to graph them from intercepts, okay? Lots of ways to graph. So please stay with me. This is a big foundational skill that you have to keep and you have to build on as we move forward, okay? So today, we're going to do the same thing. We're going from a table every single time. We're going to make a table of values. Okay. So we're going to build a table with points, and then we're going to plot those points and connect them. Okay? We have the equation negative 2x minus 3 equals y. What values did they give me to plug in to my equation, the x's or the y's? In the table, we had numbers for what? For x's, right? I have when x is negative 2, when x is negative 1, when x is 0, when x is 1, when x is 2, okay? So when I plug in a number into my equation, what am I going to replace, the x or the y? I have x's. I'm going to change the x's to those different numbers, okay? And then we can find my y's. Does that make sense? So our very first one, we have negative 2x minus 3. But what is my x? My x for this first one is going to be negative 2. So what is negative 2 times negative 2? 4. No, you're right. 4. And what is 4 minus 3? 1. You get that? We're going to do this over and over and over and over again. We're just going to change what that x number is. Okay? I'm going to plot the points as we find them also. So to plot the point negative x and positive 1. If my x is negative, that's over here, right? And my y is a positive number. So we know we're going to be in this top left corner. So x is negative 2. Y is a positive 1. So it's about right here. Why is it in the middle like that? It's counting by twos. Thank you. So halfway up would be the 1. All right. Let's do it again. This color. All right. So notice my purple is going to be the same. Every time the purple is going to be the same. I'm going to go ahead and put it down for each one. Because what we're changing is my x value. So now instead of x, what are we going to plug in? Negative 1. Good. What is negative 2 times negative 1? Positive 2. So what's 2 minus 3? Negative 1. So now we're going to go backwards 1 and down 1. So we're going to be kind of in the middle of this one right here. Because again, those are like the halfway marks. Negative 1, negative 1. All right, what am I plugging in for the next time? Now it's negative 2 times. Oh, look at all that space. I forgot that was all down there. Y'all could definitely be using that space. Sorry, I'm cramping it in there. We're going to do 0. Bless you. Negative 2 times 0 is what? 0. And 0 minus 3? Negative 3. Good. So my x is 0, so I'm still in the middle. But now I'm going to go down 3. So we're about right here. Sorry, I forgot there was a big space under your graph that you could be writing in. I'll make sure I do that for the next one instead of cramping it like this. All right, my next one, what are we going to plug in?
0, 1.
1. Good. What is negative 2 times 1? Negative 2 times 1.
Negative 2 times 1?
Anybody? Negative 2. And what is negative 2 minus 3? Negative 5. My x is a positive 1. So now we're going over here, right? Positive 1. But we're going to go down 5. Our last one, what do we plug it in? Instead of an x, we're going to have a 2. Good. What is negative 2 times 2? Negative 4, good. And negative 4 minus 3? Negative 7. So positive 2, and then down 7 will look like that. Okay. We're going to connect them. Here's my line. What pattern do you notice with 1, negative 1, negative 3, negative 5, negative 7? It went down by 2 every time. Where could I see that in my equation? Going down by 2.
It's going up by 2.
Where does the equation show me down by 2 with my x's? It's literally the negative 2x, right? That shows you how your x's are moving. They're going down by 2. See that? Remember the word slope? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, that's what that is. We good? Okay, let's do it again. Now I have y equals 2x plus 5. Does it matter that I have y equals instead of over here I have equals y? Does it matter? No, it does not matter. Okay. Again, my table gives me what values? All the x's or all the y's?
All the x's.
My table gives me all the x's. So what am I going to plug in?
X.
I'm going to plug in the x. Okay. So every single time, I'm going to use this space now down here. So we're going to have 2 times something plus 5. And we're going to do it 5 times, right? 2 times something plus 5. 2 times something plus 5. 2 times something plus 5. Okay, so I am taking our equation right here, and I'm leaving the x blank because we're going to plug in these guys, right? So I'm going to plug in negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So that's a good way to set them all up at the same time. If this freaks you out, don't do it. And just do it, then just do 1 by 1. Okay? But if you want to set them all up all at the same time, this is a good way to do it. Okay? Leave a blank for your x, and then use your table to fill in what your x's are going to be. Now we are going to simplify each one by 1. All right? Our first is 2 times negative 2, which is what? What is it? Negative 4. And what's negative 4 plus 5? 1. Negative 4 plus 5 brings me to positive 1. Okay? So negative 2, and then down 1. Are we okay with how to graph points? If we're getting lost on that, please tell me, because we got to make sure we know what we're doing. Negative x means left. Positive y means up. So we went left 2 and then down 1. All right, my next point. What is 2 times negative 1? Negative 2. There you go. And what's negative 2 plus 5? Positive 3. Good. So we're going to go left 1 and up 3. So left 1 is the halfway mark. And we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 right here. Yes. I will tell you what to do. It's weird, right? Nothing to plug in. It's going to be a special case. All right, 2 times 0. 0. 0 plus 5. 5. So we didn't move left or right. We're still in the middle, but we went up 5. So about right here. I plotted something wrong. Yes, I did. That should be a positive one, shouldn't it? There we go. Positive 1, positive 3, positive 5. What do you think the next one's going to be before we even do it?
7.
You think it's 7? Let's see what happens. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 plus 5. Oh, look at that. Do we see a pattern? Oh. What do you think the next one's going to be? You think it's going to be 9? 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 plus 5, look at that. Over 2 and up 9, so about right there. Good. Does that pattern of going up by 2 make sense? What was attached to my x? What was my x? What was next to my x? A positive 2, right? So my pattern was it went up by 2 each time I changed my x. How do we feel about this? Feel okay? Okay. Ooh. Well, now that you mentioned it, I'm just kidding. The next 2 are special cases, so I am going to do those with you. I will let you do one when we get to the back, so give me a second. Then keep going. All right, so we are going to move on to the bottom one where it says x equals negative 2. So can I plug in anything? If I plug in negative, I don't have a y, do I? It only tells me that x is negative 2, right? So does this table even make sense? No, because I have x negative 2, which is fine, but the negative 1, 0, 1, 2 doesn't make sense because it says that my x can only be negative 2. Okay, so that table, I can't plug in an x. Okay, think about it. If I plugged in 0, I get 0 equals negative 2. Well, that's not right. Okay, nope, we're not going to write. Nope. There are 2 special cases. So if my line does not have a slant, right, it could be a vertical line, straight up and down, or it could be a horizontal line. Okay, these are special cases. Something I use to remember this guy is something called Hoy-Vux. Okay, Hoy-Vux. Yes, I'm going to show you. So change my colors. Hoy is when you have a horizontal line. So that goes side to side, right? See how like the letter H has a line cutting through the middle? Yeah? Horizontal lines, side to side, have a slope of 0, and they are from y equals a number. Okay? Then we have Vux. I don't have room. Do it over here. Vux. Vux is from vertical lines. So vertical lines go up and down. If you do track, isn't there a vertical jump? I think is one of the events. See how high you can jump up and down? Okay. Or vertical blinds. If you have vertical blind, usually like on your back patio, sometimes you'll have vertical lines. They go up and down. Okay. Okay. Me either. The letter V. How about the letter V? It goes up and down, right? So all different ways to remember vertical is up and down. Okay. This has an undefined slope, which we're really not worried about today, but it will come back up. So we have an undefined slope, and it comes from x equals just a number. Okay. So when I have the equation x equals negative 2, I have just x equals a number. So it's going to be my Vux special case. It's going to be a vertical line. And that vertical line is going to cut where? When x is negative 2. So I'm going to go left 2, right? Right here. And I'm going to cut straight through it. That is where all of my x's are negative 2. There is no slant. Okay, if I slant it, I have other x's, right? Not allowed. I can only have x values that are negative 2. So it's going to be a vertical line. All right, look at my next one. Y equals 5. So that's just the y. There is no x, so there is no slant. Okay, you have to have both variables to have a slant. Okay, we don't have that. We only have a y this time. Y equals a number. So this is going to be Hoy, which is horizontal. And we're going to be horizontal when my y is 5. So go up to 5, right about here, and we cut straight through it. That's not a good line. I know, me either. Okay, which means no matter what you plug in, so like this table, we could do every y is 5. Doesn't matter what x you use, your y will always be 5 because of that horizontal line. There is no slant. If I had a slant, I would have y's that went up and y's that went down, right? Can't happen if y can only be 5. Okay? So Hoivux is a little trick to help when you just have one variable. Yeah? How are we feeling? Feeling okay? Okay. Let me look at the back. Okay. Any questions for me at all?
No.
Okay.